Good day. My name is Rafael Castillo-Triana, and I want to talk to you about business, in particular because I am here available for you, and I want to describe what I can do for you. If you take a look about the world population, how many people live in this planet, you reach the number of 7.7 billion people today. Taking a look of where that people is located, you'll see that over 60 or 70% of the population is located in what is called emerging markets. 18.5% are in China, 17.9% are in India. Other emerging markets could be around 30%, and then you include some relevant emerging markets like Brazil, Pakistan, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Mexico, and so on, which include a large percentage of the population as well. The key question now is how many of them are your customers today? How many of these 7.7 billion people are currently buying from you, your goods and services? And I would bet that probably not too many. I would bet that probably your company could be very active in markets such as the United States and Canada, Europe, which altogether don't add up more than 10 to 12% of the total population. So what we do is basically help in expanding your business. And that goes to my next question. If you want to expand your business, keep going. If you don't, then stop. Let me explain what we do. We provide support for supply chain deployment in emerging markets. That is my sweet spot. And I have been working in that field over the years. That includes not only dealing with your potential customers, but also understanding all the circumstances, all the environmental issues, social issues, logistic issues, infrastructure issues that affect the behavior of your clients and the possibility for you to generate more businesses. I have more than 4 decades supporting supply chain development in emerging markets. And that includes countries such as Colombia, Peru, Brazil, Chile, Argentina, Mexico. Let me explain you where I am today and what is the track record that I can offer to you. Back in 1973, I started with litigation practice, and that gave me a very good understanding of how the courts work, how litigators behave, how easy and difficult it is to get your rights enforced, how long does it take for you to get that enforcement, and how expensive it is going to be. What kind of tricks are applied by the litigators. And that gives a very good perspective when you think about reverse engineering all your business transactions. How is it going to affect your specific ability to enjoy the benefits of your business? In 1976, I moved into international trade practice. I started buying and selling, importing and exporting goods, dealing with customs, dealing with logistics, dealing with sea, air, transportation, dealing with inventory management issues, dealing with international payments, all that in my own skin. In 1978, I had the privilege to join an investment banker that was very active in securities. Actually, they founded the Colombian Stock Exchange back in 1928. They were very strong, representing and being part of the top management of insurance companies, and also having a license as insurance intermediary. They were also very active in managing financing, representing international banks, and providing corporate management and shareholders representation. In 1982, I moved into what became the most important activity in my life, which has been the equipment leasing and financing industry. I have been there since that date, and for the first 8 years between 1982 and 1990, my activity was a managerial activity. I was part of a management team who provided a turnaround to a leasing company. I founded 4 more leasing companies which I managed. And in 1990, I decided to build my consulting practice, focusing my legal formation. In 1997, I decided to move into the United States, to South Florida, and expand the scope of our services from a purely national to a regional services, originally moving from Colombia to Latin America, uh, but basing our business in the state of Florida, in South Florida, because of logistic and infrastructure reasons. And that gave start to the organization FTAA Consulting, that has been a legal management firm that provides legal services domestically through the management of local law firms in emerging markets. In 2006, I had the privilege of being appointed as member of the advisory board of the International Institute for the Unification of Private Law, called UNITWA, and that opened the door to different engagements with the World Bank and other institutions to act as legal advisor for regulatory changes, in particular in equipment leasing and financing laws. Nowadays, in 2019, I'm part of the ALTE Group, which I started parallelly to FTAA in 1997. The ALTE Group is the largest consultancy in the equipment leasing and financing industry worldwide, and is part of the main practice group which I direct. What is our value to you? Our value to you is basically based on focus, on global reputation, and hence on experience, and business and management experience, as opposed to purely legal. Improving experience in building, funding, and syndicating complex transactions. Improving experience in representation of multinational investors, in particular in corporate governance issues. And the most important part is being a cultural bridge, someone that can really put together and understand business from the perspective of different cultures. When we go into focus, basically our focus is we are experts in the asset-based financing deals. You may find a lot of advisors that can do everything in different areas, but our focus, because it has been in the life, has been the asset-based financing business, and that is part of this deployment of supply chain financing. Without the asset-based financing, it is impossible to provide customer financing in your supply chain. Our global reputation, in particular the participation in UNITWA, has helped us to being called by multilateral institutions like the World Bank and by several governments to help implement best practices into their laws and regulations. And again, this is connected with the asset-based financing business, is connected with the expansion of trade, is connected with the financial inclusion, giving the opportunity to growing population in emerging markets to have access to capital goods and services. As opposed to many other advisory firms, my particular background includes having been a manager. So I understand exactly what my clients are facing. I understand what you need to deal with your customers, with your employees, with your directors. I understand your challenges and your pains. And for that reason, normally our business advice is better illustrated than the one that you may receive from a purely legally trained lawyer or advisor. The experience in structuring, building, funding, and syndicating complex transactions, not only in large ticket deals, but also in retail, small and medium-sized tickets, for over $1 billion, has helped very much to provide effective results to our clients. We just we don't stop in the planning phase of any business. We really go with our clients and help them achieve their goals. And part of the contribution that we provide is our extensive network of contacts in all emerging markets. So we can introduce our clients to the key players that could provide financing, that could provide all kinds of services that are necessary to succeed in all these emerging markets. Representing multinational investors in corporate governance has been increasingly important. And this embodies the understanding that all companies need to be based on high ethical values. So what we have been doing for several years, and that's the legacy of my belonging to Holman Restrepo Abogados, is that we supervise the behavior of the management teams of corporations, because they are the carriers of the reputation and the ethical values of the company. And this is extremely important. We take that with very serious concern, and we track the correct behavior. It's not just a code of corporate governance. It's basically the accountability and the checks and balances of ethical behavior. Cross-cultural negotiation is probably one of the key areas of our expertise. It helps very much living in the United States and also have been raised and born in emerging markets. We understand both sides of the story. We understand what are the cultural drivers from one and the other structure. We understand what are the challenges in infrastructure, in social organization that emerging markets face. We also understand what the legal mindset coming from common law countries contrasts with the legal mindset from civil law countries. And we are continuously making this kind of quote-unquote translation to all the business and professionals with whom we interact. This is probably one of the most important values that we help. These cross-cultural skills that goes beyond language, environment, social organization, contextuality, non-verbal language, authority conception, time conception, and so on. So this is what we offer, what I offer as an advisor, and I'm here at your disposal whenever you need it. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you.